In fact, we also spoke to Assam DGP, GP Singh, an officer who spent a considerable amount of time in the state of Assam. He basically recounts the days that he was in the state of Assam and it was riddled with insurgency. But he says that this tripartite deal is not about security. It is way more than that. As he puts it, that the state is all set for not only unprecedented growth, but the golden phase. Listen in to what the DGP had to say. The tripartite deal between the government of India, Assam government and for that matter the pro-talk faction of ULFA. What does this essentially mean for the state of Assam and perhaps the implication that it has across the northeastern states? Joining me on this special broadcast is the DGP of Assam, Mr. GP Singh, and also he has the distinction of serving the state for a very long period. So someone who understands that a state which has suffered because of the insurgency for decades put together today sees a new dawn. Thank you very much, Mr. GP Singh, for joining us on Republic TV. Let me straight away begin by asking you the direct implication of the tripartite deal, not only for the state of Assam, but perhaps what it would mean for the entire northeastern states.
What you have to understand at the beginning is that Assam basically has had three spheres in which there have been militancy/insurgency. One was the Bodoland territorial region, second was the hill districts Karbi Anglong and Dima Hasao, and third was the ULFA insurgency. Of these, Bodoland territorial region and hill insurgency is completely over, and ULFA, a larger faction of ULFA, has been in talks for the last few years. Now, what has happened is that this has resulted in a general environment of peace. During the last few years, because of the prevalence of peace in the state, there are parameters which are indicative that prosperity has come in. Like the state GSDP, which was about 3,46,000 crore rupees in 1920, is projected to be almost 6,24,000 crore rupees in 24-25. Similarly, the tourist inflow into Assam was 1 crore plus in 22-23, and the losses incurred by Oil India Limited or other oil companies have come down tremendously. Oil India Limited has reported that during the last 2 years they have reduced the losses in production by about 800 crore rupees. So these are indicators of the peace dividend which is there in Assam. And generally once peace comes to Assam, then it has larger ramifications in the entire northeast. So the entire northeast prospers, and also the government of India's policy of Act East, that gets a boost once the entire northeast becomes peaceful. So this is a very, very important step, and I hope that those who are still out, it's a small number that is now in camps in Myanmar and bordering China, I hope they also come over ground and join the development process. It is now no longer about security or insurgency or terrorism. It's about development of Assam, the peace dividend for people of Assam, and how the quality of life of people of Assam improves.
Mr. Singh, I want to ask you this question because it is a little bit personal for many of us who come from the northeastern states, because we have grown up in the years of insurgency. You already make a point that this is not only about security, but I would still want to talk a little bit about it, because the implications that it also has in security and for your force itself, because there was a point in time not a single day would essentially pass in any of the northeastern states with some sort of a militant activity that would go on. What is the direct ramification of a tripartite deal with the ULFA, and the very fact that the Assam police perhaps would be changing with the way they operate in the years to come?
One of the most important aspects of this is that since they have been in talks with the government, and today is the culmination of those talks where we go in for signing of the accord, is that 2023, after almost 30 years, or I would say after 1990, that is 33 years, is the first year where there has been no loss of civil life in any terrorist activity. Similarly, no security personnel has lost life in this year. So that answers your question, what is the import of this on Assam Police or any of the sister agency working in Assam. Another aspect of this entire thing is that with peace coming in, Assam Police has been able to concentrate more on its parallel core task of investigation, prosecution of crime, and action against drugs. Now 2023 has seen, under the direct supervision of the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, Dr. Himanta Sharma ji, continued action against drugs. So this year we have recovered unprecedented amount of drugs, almost totaling to market value of 1600 crore rupees. This year we have recovered 150 kg plus of heroin plus whole lot of other drugs. Other aspect which is very significant is that again we have brought down things like rhino poaching almost to zero. 2022 was the first year after almost 50 years that there was no rhino poaching in the entire state. So Assam police is able to concentrate on the core policing task. Then during the peak of insurgency and connected law and order, we had suffered in terms of investigation of crime, detection of crime, conviction. Conviction rate had plummeted to 5.4% in 2018. Now this year in November it has come up again to 16.4%, which is a uptick of almost 300%. So these are the positive indicators, and these are indicators which have direct bearing on the life of people of Assam. So I feel that this accord and similar accords in hill districts and Bodoland territorial region that have been signed during the last couple of years have tremendous impact, and once these things become the norm, peace becomes the norm, Assam is set to boom.
Mr. Singh, let me also then ask you about the stumbling block, because it hasn't been an easy journey. We're talking about something that started back in the year 2010 and 2011. Thereafter, we've seen multiple challenges and perhaps the talks really not fructifying, but things have changed. Also, walk us through the journey of getting to where we are today.
See, journey is very simple. Whosoever has left the mainstream has to be motivated, guided, goaded into joining the mainstream. People who are in power have to understand what are the aspirations of those people, and today it is because the aspirations have been understood by the government of India and government of Assam that these people have come over ground and decided to sign this accord. Now there are some people who still have some issues, though as I said that there are very few. I am sure that they would also understand that there is a government in Assam and the government in Delhi which is willing to sit down, talk, understand their problems, find a solution, and then they will also join the mainstream. So it has been a long journey, but what has happened during the last few years that we have had these talks, and I have seen this in all the talk processes of all the militant groups, it takes time for the other side to understand this side's issues and vice versa. So the government and the people who had at one time left the mainstream, they have to sit together, they have to discuss, they have to talk. Their problems, their issues, their aspirations are to be heard by the government side and vice versa. And I think it is today when this agreement is being signed, it is an indicator that things are going in the right direction. And having had experience of almost 3.5 decades in Assam, I think Assam is set for unprecedented economic growth in the coming decade or so. And I am hopeful that people of the country and people of Assam will reap the benefits of this.
One final question that I want to take with you, Mr. Singh, is that there is still one faction that we are talking about. In the last couple of months, we've seen there was an attempt that was made to even derail the talks. Minor incidents have actually taken place. What happens to the Paresh Barua faction? Have they been rendered completely irrelevant after today's tripartite deal?
I would say that government of Assam, led by the Honorable Chief Minister, is not willing to leave anybody behind. And he is very, very keen that the people who are still outside, we sit down, discuss with them and bring them also to mainstream. As far as isolated incidents of violence are concerned, Assam Police and other agencies who are working with us, they are fully competent and capable of handling them. But we do not want to leave anyone behind. We still want that they should also come over ground. They should also sit down, talk to us, because most of these people have left Assam long time back. What Assam is today is much different from what it was 35 years back. So they have to come, they have to stay here in Assam, understand what is the aspiration of the people, understand how Assam has changed, what is the future of Assam, bright, economically sound, very progressive state. So all that put together, we don't want to leave anyone behind. However, wherever there are violent activities, we would come down on such violent activities with a very, very firm hand.
Thank you very much. It's always a pleasure having you on Republic TV. That was Assam DGP. GP is saying, laying out what is essentially the tripartite deal means not only for the state of Assam, but for the entire northeastern region. And well, many would say it's a new dawn for the northeastern states.